Welcome to another episode of the Legacy Room, proudly brought to you by FBN Quest Trustees. Today, we'll be talking about estate planning for men. It's a special edition targeted towards our amazing men and fathers, all the men and fathers in our life. Sit back and enjoy this show. On today's episode, I have two powerful, amazing.
You have come again.
So I have two powerful and amazing men in the room with me today, and I'll just leave them to introduce themselves. But I won't start with you, Rotimi. I will start with SOA.
Hello, and it's a pleasure to be here today. My name is Samson Ariyibi, but people normally and usually call me SOA, initials of my name.
Okay.
It's a pleasure to be here.
Thank you, sir.
I'm Sir Ro. I believe they know me. Rotimi Obende.
Okay, so like I said, we're going to be talking about estate planning for men. And before we proceed, I'm going to read out a quote. It says that my father didn't tell me how to live. He lived and let me watch him do it. So that underscores the importance of fathers in our life. And just the way we celebrate our fathers and we say they are heroes, we also need to talk about estate planning for men. Before we go into all the intricacies about estate planning for men, I know that every time we try to talk about what estate planning is, so I'll just leave Rotimi to do like a brief recap. What is estate planning really?
So because I've said this thing many times, I don't know what I should continue to say is the structure. But yeah, so what's estate planning? Basically, it's a plan that you put in place while you are alive. Very key that you put that plan in place while you are alive, and then determine what is going to happen in the next 20, 30, or 40 years. You can use any two instruments, either a will or a trust, which I'm hoping that we'll be able to talk about as we progress into this program. But essentially, it's a plan, a program, a structure, a desire that you put in place in your lifetime, and you see it work, and then you can make changes thereafter.
Okay, thank you, Saro. I'll go to SOA now. So Rotimi has more or less given us the definition of estate planning, but at the back of my mind, I know that men are always more bothered about making money, putting food on the table, sending their kids to school. Beyond all of this, what else should men really think about when it comes to their family, especially their kids?
Thank you. Let me start, and you pardon me. I'm going to start with a verse in the Bible. 1 Timothy chapter 5, verse 8. It says, if a man does not take care of his family, especially his immediate family, he has denied the faith and is worse than an infidel. In summary, what that means is that we need to take care. As a man, we have to take care, because the Bible says, it was very clear, that if a man does not take care of his family, especially his immediate family, he's denied the faith and is worse than an infidel. Therefore, beyond everything, we must be conscious in ensuring that your affairs as a man, because we come from different settings, from different backgrounds, and we've had a series of stories of people that are a bit careless. I will use the word a bit careless, because they felt, oh, I'll do it tomorrow. And again, because of different family settings, for some family, there are different experiences. For some people, the man typically from old setting, even till sometimes today, man is usually the breadwinner, as it is. Because again, don't forget that a man needs to provide for his family.
Yeah.
Therefore, is the breadwinner ordinarily. There could be variations and things could happen in modern day, but a man is, for this purpose, let's say, man is the breadwinner and should provide for his family. Therefore, it behoves of the man to be very conscious in planning that when he's here or when he leaves, that nothing untoward will happen to the people the loved ones. Loved ones meaning the spouse, the children, and those that will suffer the loss of his demise. Therefore, it is instructive to know that there is no. What happens is people usually say, okay, you know what do I have that I will be planning? But the moment you have a job and you begin to save, then you need to have a plan. I mean, it doesn't have to be excessive, but you need to put a plan in place to ensure that you take care of those people that matter to you. Because of the fact is that nobody will leave this world alive. We will die.
Definitely.
It's sure that we will die. Therefore, and when you die, again, 1 Timothy chapter 6, verse 7 says, for we brought nothing to this world, and we take nothing out of it. Therefore, because we're going to take nothing out of it, those things when you came with nothing actually.
Yes.
So when you are going, you also go with nothing. So in between, you struggle to acquire things because you're not so sure of the future you want to be. Therefore, all those things you struggle and work hard to acquire, to amass, you need to ensure that you properly determine in a written manner how you want those things to be dealt with. That would be my initial comment at this point.
Okay.
Something struck me when SA was speaking. The fact that many people will say that they don't have assets, they don't have things to give. And I remember, I think about 3 or 4 years ago, we did a sample in the office just asking people, number 1, do you have an estate plan? Number 2, if you don't have, what is the reason why you don't have an estate plan? And what he said came out from that survey clearly. Many people said that they didn't have enough assets. And so because of that, they did not want to put anything in place. So it's something that as men, I believe that we should start to think about if we've not started to do that anyway. Because irrespective of whatever it is, I think I was sharing with us just before we started about a man that passed, and his family members are already fighting over the small money that the company is going to give as gratuity. And so you imagine the wife is in the village going through that ceremony of mourning. However, the siblings are already calling the office and saying, when are you paying the money? He has a 9-year-old or a 10-year-old daughter that has to be taken care of. But nobody's thinking about her. Everybody's concentration or thought is that small money that is going. So men really need to put a plan in place.
Okay, Rotimi, I totally agree with you. And taking a cue from what SOA said, yes, we know that men are the breadwinners, even if you have women still doing 1 or 2 things. But the truth is that everything is anchored on the man to a very large extent. The finances, the upkeep, the children, everything is all about the man, and the man is the breadwinner. So it is important for the man to have a plan in place. But going away from the man having a plan in place for his children and all, a man also needs an estate plan for himself. Because to a very large extent, having an estate plan helps you to also define your finances and allows you to define your lifestyle. So beyond giving your loved ones the peace of mind that they deserve, it also gives you a peace of mind. Then if I'm to spin it around a bit, we women, when we are all grown, we go for omugo and we leave the daddies at home.
Before you go and spin it further, it's difficult for a man to just say, I want to have a plan for myself. First thing is you first think about your spouse. You want to take care of her. Then you now think of the children. You want to take care of the children. I can bet you that 90% of men have not sat down to say they want to have a plan for themselves.
Yeah, Rotimi, you're correct, because on the streets, people will say that's why men, we work the first 20 years, struggling the next years, taking care of children, and the next becoming like a dog, making grandchildren happy and things like that. It's all about not being conscious. Truly, and I will tell you something that even for people that have assets,
yeah,
the problem becomes a different one, which is to sit down and do an inventory. I mean, if you have a company like FBN Quest Trustees that can help you, support you. If they keep calling you and be on your case, with time you can start gradually. And because some people say, oh, I don't have any asset, why should I do any will at this point? But some now have assets, they have account. It can take 6 months to list all the account that somebody has, because they say, oh, there is this one in this bank in New Jersey. Oh, there's one in Jersey. There's one in Channel Island. I've forgotten that one. You know, that in Gwency, that way it will take time. But you have to really be conscious, because truly, the only people that we know when they will pass will be people that are terminally ill, and doctors have said in the next 3 to 6 months. Otherwise, if you are ill and healthy without thinking about it, we don't know really when death will come calling. So that's why it's important to prepare. And first is, first of all, be conscious that though I know in preparing will and things, people always feel very morbid. People feel very morbid about it, but truly, I mean, once you go past that morbidity of almost, so I'm sending this, doing this, telling you take this guy that I don't particular. Okay, so I'll give them. But on a very serious note, it's to be conscious and tell yourself that even while we are still here, and it's I know a friend that he doesn't own anything in his own name. He set up a trust, and he buys everything in the name of the trust. Even when he receives the salary, he puts in the trust. So if anything happens, it's the trust that deals with himself and his entire family, and that way he's able to manage himself. Now it brings transparency, because